Prince, I grew up listening to. My mum is a really big fan, and we listened to Prince cassette tapes in the car. So I spent a lot of time singing along to the songs, and yeah, he means a lot. And it was so exciting for us to come and play here. Like, amazing.
He's just a legend, like, amazing songwriter, amazing production. He's just got the whole 9 yards of, like, talent, looks, charisma. Mine's Purple Rain. I know it's a cliche, but like the outro of Purple Rain, when the strings go like dissonant / like kind of epic. I really like that bit of that song.
Very hard to choose. Maybe Kiss? Yeah. Yeah, we started off all living in different countries. Well, a lot of us. And we would send song ideas over the internet. So someone would start a song and send a file to other members of the band, and they would put like guitars or vocals or whatever onto it. So people would be kind of writing their parts around the world, and then it would just move around the internet, and then it would end up back with Toucan, who's our drummer, and he also mixes and records our stuff. He would just finish it up. Now we're all living in London, 7 of us live in the same house. We still kind of use that same process, so even though we're under one roof, we still use the internet to send files, basically.
A good analogy is someone starts off with a sketch, if you visualize it, and then you kind of send the sketch around and people color it in with different colors, and that's like the production elements or like a bass line. So I think that's a good analogy.
I'd say just really good songs. I think that's the most important thing. Secondly, fun live shows for anyone who's going to have the opportunity to come and see us. I want people to remember our performance.
Just like normal dudes and girls, you know, friends who started a band, you know. I think what's important in a creative environment is like trust and friendship, just the freedom to be able to come up with anything and maybe even share some bad ideas and not feel like restricted in any sense. So that's where friendship comes in. It's a strong sort of framework in the process. So I feel like anything you can add on?
Yeah, and I think just in terms of spending so much time together on the road and in the house and stuff, we're so close that we can go off and do our own thing. No one's offended. You can be asleep in a room and no one's going to care. Like, there's no pleasantries to keep up, and we have a really good time together and lots of laughs, lots of personal jokes, lots of silliness, yeah. So that song primarily is about the current kind of climate and lives online. So people fishing for likes on Instagram and everything, and everyone wanting to be well known in their circle and reaching out to like audiences, even if that's not very big. So it's not famous in terms of like massive celebrity, but I think with all of our songs we like the audience to kind of read into it as they will.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to it, it's like being known for the guy in your community that's really good at, like, I don't know, I can ride a bike backwards like this. So I like to be known in my community as someone who can ride a bike backwards. So I think that's kind of my interpretation of that song. My dad somehow taught me. He could ride a motorbike backwards, which is really stupid. So I think the bike was just like a toned down version of it. But I mean, I could be imagining that, but I somehow learned it. Maybe I can't even remember, but I can do it now.
I wonder if Prince could ride his bike backwards. I mean, you could have a go on his.
We'll never know. I love is it like dusk? You know, when the sun's sort of setting and like maybe the horizon's a bit purpley red and the night's just about to come on, and like you have something's in the air and you're like, ooh, I feel like it's gonna be a good night. Maybe you have like a mojito or something, and you're like, ooh, it's gonna be great. You know, I love that moment just before something's about to happen. And like in films, they have it. You know, like they're driving around looking for something to do. There's something's in the air. So I feel like that's better than the actual thing. But then anticipation.
Yeah, and I like when it goes from winter to when it eventually becomes summer, and summer evenings when it's really warm and you can sit outside, again maybe with a mojito if you want, but you can hear, depending on where you're living, cicadas, I think I love that. Just, early evening, maybe same kind of time. But I like the excitement when it becomes summer and you're just really excited about getting to hang out all night outside.
It has to be summer evenings. Because it's winter, it's dark by like 4 or 5 in England anyway. You don't really get that as much. So a summer evening, it's warm. I mean, I was gonna say Batman, but then you realize he's not that cool. He's like a billionaire, like, dude who's sort of like got problems. Like, he's not really a typical hero in a sense. I mean, he was when I was a kid, but just looking more into it, don't think he's something that I can really relate to as much. So that's not really answering the question. But anyway.
I'll also not answer the question properly and say we were brainstorming a superhero like yesterday, which was Razman, anti-Razman. Do you remember that? Just so we thought a nice superpower would be if people razzed you or kind of tried to wind you up and tease you, but you didn't feel it. So you had this like force field that prevented any razzes from touching you. Do you remember that?
Yeah. People make fun of you and you just can't get offended. You're just really strong-willed. You just brush your shirt, dirt off your shoulder. Mosquitoes? Wasps?
Wasps. Oh, you stole mine. Yeah, I think only those. Only those two.
Particularly annoying. But, I mean, they probably do serve a purpose. I mean, to eradicate a whole species does seem
dramatic.
It's a bit dramatic. It's like, but I mean, mosquitoes, wasps.
Yeah, I think I'd go through with it. I think a lot of them revolve around nicknames.
Oh, yeah.
So, for example, Soul here has an alter ego called Bobby Stylish.
Yeah. I mean, personal jokes aren't really funny to the public. That's like the crux of this whole situation. They're only funny because you say them again and again, and it's like kind of Groundhog Day. You need to just like, because you're gonna go crazy if you don't have these personal jokes. But yeah, I think nicknames, like I gave a nickname recently, Uranus, which is if she was a planet, she'd be next to Neptune as Uranus. Yeah. It's kind of funny, It's not that funny. To me, I was like, yeah, I'm great. Like, I made a good.
We're really showing that our sense of humor is subpar, but there you go.
We're not class comedians in any sense, no.